Me.
Hello, Lamely! Welcome to another episode of Me, I Am a Memoir, the meaning of Mariah Carey. This is Fab, and that is Posh. And we are doing something now that I didn't think we would do because I felt like we had done every single thing in the book. Mm-hmm. But this week, we are going to do an overall book review. It is our grade 6 book review.
Do you know what's really sad?
I'm just with my library bag.
I did Google, like, what do you need to touch on in a book review? And I found a list on Oprah's website.
Oh, heaven.
Yeah.
So you've had book reviewing Oprah-splained to you.
Yes.
That's good. So we are going to look back at the book, our choice moments. We're going to go section by section rather than chapter by chapter because that's how we did the whole podcast.
Yeah.
And look, we may get this done in one episode, but we are always hopeful of that.
And it never happens.
It never happens. So we'll see how we go. But hopefully we can do a whole book review in one episode. But it's been a very busy week in the world of Mariah. And she's been frothing. Mainly because she's been underwater. So we better find out what's going on with Her Royal Highness Mimi in the Mimi Moments.
Mimi Moments. That's about her. That's why that's called that.
Yeah.
So at the time of recording, Masterclass should be hitting us any second now. Mm-hmm, so I think by the time you guys are hearing this, there will be a Masterclass released out into the world.
Oh.
So we are hoping to cover it if we can figure out how that will work.
Oh, someone gave me a promo login, so I think I can do one bit of it.
Because I didn't understand, like, does it all come out at once, or is it like a weekly kind of thing?
I don't know. It's a class.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
But we'll find out. We'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Emancipation has turned 17 with a celebratory hot tub moment on Instagram Live.
Even was happening.
I have no idea.
I was so because I was ready to watch it, and then I had a Zoom call lined up that I had to do, which I had organised. So I'm like, oh, Mariah, don't you know I'm busy? Can you organise these things when I'm not busy?
You have to cancel those.
So I had to watch it afterwards. Otherwise, I would have joined in.
Yeah. You're like, I'll watch the Zoom after. I'm going on to Mariah now.
Yeah.
But we had some revelations of Brandy possibly coming onto the masterclass, but also having a roof moment, like a collab moment, which has been teased for a while. Mm-hmm. She also spoke with Little Mimi. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this was Little Mimi from the Christmas special. Mm-hmm. Or is it maybe a Little Mimi from an upcoming TV series? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly both. Like, possibly. I didn't have time to check.
It's a double mini Mimi.
We had the spilling, the baptism of Black Irish in the hot tub. For no apparent reason.
Yeah.
And of course, I think it was Muttley and Cha having a little swim.
Oh my God, those dogs are so cute.
Oh, having so much fun. And we also have that Mariah has had papers filed that seek to have Morgan pay her legal fees, with Mariah saying she's likely to win the case because her claims are true or substantially true, and that what she said about Morgan wasn't published with actual malice. It was opinion and exaggeration, which doesn't count as defamation.
Yeah.
It wasn't actual malice. It was a pretend malice.
It wasn't like I'm publishing this book just to tarnish your reputation. It's like I'm publishing this book and you did these things.
I mean, really, it's like I do think that you pertain to the meaning of Mariah Carey, so you're very lucky is what I'm saying.
Yes, yeah.
So if anything, I've elevated your profile.
Yes. More.
I'm sure there were about 100 other things that happened, but that's the gist of the Mimi moment.
The gist
for the week.
Yeah, just to remind us of all the hits.
hits.
So many hits.
So many hits.
And it was so good of her to do that in the week that regular people were getting engaged.
I did think that was interesting. It's like, oh, someone got engaged. Do I have a hot tub dress? I should do that.
I haven't done a hot tub dress in ages.
Yeah.
Everyone loves the hot tub dresses.
She has a diamond. I have severy diamond albums. Let's talk about that.
No, she claims she was in the bubble bath. I'll actually be in the bath in my dress.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't need a movie star husband.
Oh, he's on the wane anyway. She's doing dirty graveyard there.
Oh, no.
Digging up the past.
I can't believe that that's happening. Like the whole thing. I'm like...
It's phenomenal. It's amazing.
Yeah, especially because like in that same interview that she said that dancers and musicians are better lovers. Yeah. She also says she hates his back tattoo. Yeah. I'm like, so maybe she's scratching it off.
Maybe.
But do we think that Mariah has special pool gowns made now? Like, I feel like the first time she did it was like an actual gown, but now she's like, no, I'm getting pool gowns made.
But maybe.
Or she's just like, I've got enough disposable income. Let's ruin a Chanel.
Or maybe it's just that thing of like, well, people kept stealing my clothes. I might as well wear them in the bath. So when they steal them, they've gone green.
They can't take them if I'm still wearing them all.
I'm still swimming in them. I'm wearing this one in the bath because someone might nick it.
Oh my God. But if you'd like, we can get into the actual book review.
Oh, awesome.
And we're gonna have all of the sections.
So we're having recaps and gists.
We're going to have recap. You don't need a gist so much. I think they'll keep the gist.
Miss the gist. Miss gist. Miss gist.
Unloppable. But yes, can we have a... God, I'm sure that will come up several times. So I think hit us with a Wayward Child recap.
Recap of Wayward Child, the first section. So Mariah has some inner child therapy where she meets Mariah, who can hear an orchestra in her voice. Her mother works a lot at night, so unfortunately Morgan is left to look after her, and he has no skills. Thankfully, however, the Gunkles teach her the true meaning and spirit of Christmas. And in a month of Sundays, Alfred Roy teaches Mariah the value of a Ritz cracker and to fear the deadly Parmesan Nazi and her purse full of cheese. Mariah experiences a lot of racism from teachers at her school camp doing the musical, bitchy girls, and if that wasn't bad enough, the ultimate bitchy girl, her opera singer mother, tells her she should hope to be half the singer her mother is. And immediately after that, Mariah reminds us she did a gig with Pavarotti. And opera sensation Leontine Price wrote her a letter after Hangs at Oprah's joint. Then her ex-sister Alison tries to get her to do drugs, tries selling her to a pedophile, and does something unspeakable with hot tea. And we were all shook. And the final chapter in this section is filled with school kids being bitchy, using foul racist slurs, mocking Mariah for being poor, and worst of all, Mariah wishes she had a regular name like Jennifer.
No.
Regular.
The impact of the abuse.
Oh, so much abuse for the reader as well as for poor Mariah.
to get so low as to want a regular name.
Jennifer or Heather.
I think we did say it was probably just Heather, but she thought, no, let's put Jennifer in. It sounds really regular. I'm surprised. It would have been funny if she choked on it as she was saying it in the audio.
Regular name,
Jennifer.
Like, you know that when you sound like you're going to throw up? Like a regular name, like... Jennifer.
It's almost Monique not wanting to talk at the end of Pressure. It's like, no, can we talk about anything else? You don't understand.
Like, a lot went on in that chapter. There was so much racism. I forgot how much racism there was. The N-word being bandied about by those bitchy girls.
So for this, because you've recapped the hell out of it, but when I went back, I was like, we need to break this on down with some memories and rants edition of Breaking Me On Down, Mariah style. Breaking me on down. So you've already touched on so much of it, but there are things that we forgot. Like, I mean, one can never forget Mariah Ean.
Mariah Ean, she was amazing.
The first nickname we came up with as well, which we will be touching on
terrible
some
nicknames.
of our favourites. But do you remember that there was a surprise Uncle Murderer?
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
It was like, oh, yeah, Alfred Roy's brother might have killed someone. Anyway. I was like, because I listened
barely
back.
pertains to the meaning.
It mustn't, yeah. I basically I was like, we don't have a lot of time, but I was on a plane, so I was like, I'm going to listen to the first 2 sections if I can. I've definitely got through Wayward and a little bit of Sing Sing, and I'm making notes at the same time.
Oh, see, I did the other way. I listened to the last 2 chapters that I didn't before.
Right,
because it was my turn, and then we had no more book to listen to.
Yeah, and then you're like, I can never listen to it.
So I did, and I got to hear the little bit of Mariah's theme when the man was talking about the audible credits.
It was nice, wasn't it? And I think that's how it began as well. We also had Alfred Roy, like the arrest for rape was it the Navy? I think he was in. Just because of the colour of his skin.
Yes, because he looked vaguely like someone.
Yeah. Alfred Roy did have 2 Porsches. We were wondering during the photos. He had 2 in his life, 1 before children and 1 after. Right. And Mariah must have painted it later to candy apple red because she'd apparently it had been that, but it wasn't that when she was young. And it was a discontinued colour and all this sort of stuff. So I think Mariah's gone, you know what? I'm going to make some candy apple red. Yeah. And we're gonna make this look good.
Yeah. Excellent.
Do you remember Patricia trying to get a record deal?
Oh my God, yes.
And Mariah's like, what was she thinking? She was over 30.
I know there was a lot of talk about her being like a hippie and how awful hippies were. Like Mariah
hates hippies.
Mariah's anti-hippie stance. Which I tried to fit into the recap, but I was like, oh, I can't. There's just no room for the anti-hippie.
As soon as you start looking, it's like there's so much here.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Sunshine, the lamb cake giver?
Oh, yeah.
Sunshine was the lady, and she gave Mariah some clothes, but Mariah was like, I don't want your clothes, but now I regret it because that was mean and you were the only nice person to me.
Yeah. But they were hippie clothes.
They were hippie clothes. And then, she gave her a lamb cake, which was a nice contrast to the creepy baby cake that we got a little later.
I forgot about the baby cake.
The creepy baby cake. Is this a festive or a bleak situation?
I know, because she was having a baby, and yet she was a baby.
Yeah, and she was leaving for the Philippines and getting married. I forgot about all of that.
So much was happening.
So much. And
we wonder why she came back damaged.
Right? We need to know what happened there. You did mention the single Ritz cracker, which we love. What about Henry threatening to put everyone in the freezer?
Oh, yes, chop them up. Yes.
Yeah, chop them up. And Mariah went in to get Morris, who wasn't actually Mariah's cat, because he got 2. And so I'm guessing Mariah's cat that she didn't like as much mustn't have pertained to the meaning of Mariah Carey because she did not go back in to get that cat. No. She's like, I just want Morris.
Was Morris the icon? Only one.
Morris is the icon.
Yeah.
Do you remember that somehow it got back to Mariah that when she made it with Vision of Love, that Henry heard that in the car and screamed out, like going down a main highway, she made it.
Oh,
I don't know how. I don't remember.
I nearly chopped her up and put her in the freezer, but I'm glad she made
it out. Treated me kind.
Oh yeah, the shack. I think I blotted the shack out of my memory because it was so distressing.
Oh my God! And we were in Wayward Child for a long time, and then we were in Sing Sing for a long time too, like which we will get to. You've already touched on Half the Singer I Am with the Pavarotti.
Oh my God!
And we sang
it was such a pivot. It was such a moment. Like it was such a
yeah. And it's like, remember how we sang my song?
Remember how Pavarotti sang my song?
Yeah. And you touched on Leontine Price, who read the letter. The real big question of this book is what did happen to Alison in the Philippines, but also who were little sis and little brother.
Yeah,
we still don't know because we were thinking maybe Tommy had some other children somewhere, like maybe a cousin or something. I don't know.
Little sis and little brother.
That's what we need in part 2.
Yeah, there needs to be a whole other meaning of.
We didn't.
More meaning of more Mariah.
Yeah. Me, I am another memoir. The meaning of the more meaning of the more of Mariah Carey meaning.
Mariah Carey,
Part
more
2.
meaning. Just call it more meaning.
It would be more Mariah.
The emancipation of meaning.
Oh my God, we are so dumb. We didn't do Mariahisms for the first section, but one did stand out to me, which was, it was like my complexes had complexes.
Yes.
I did love that one. What do you remember about the day that she had the hot dog on the beach?
I remember old mate with his Farrah Fawcett hair, and he helped her untangle it, and that was about it. No.
I forgot about this. She nearly died.
Oh, that's right. She nearly
in the water, and then she got spiraled out. Like, I know there was so much happening with the hot dog that it was just like
we forgot about it.
Oh, we forgot.
Also, it would have ruined her amazing hair.
Exactly.
Being in the water. Which is why now she never puts her head under and she wears a gown. Yeah. In the water.
I mean, gown always protects hair.
If you're going to accidentally drown, you want to look amazing.
That too.
A fabulously conjured corpse washed up on the beach today.
Look just like the cover of Number 1 to Infinity. We also had the boyfriend that threw people across cars.
Oh, yeah.
And the girls come into her defense, and the cousins who looked after her.
And 500 hours. We finally got to the 500 hours.
That came later, though. So
did it? Oh.
Yeah, she flashbacked us.
But she did, didn't we meet the girls, the hard-assed girls?
I
the
think
500 hours?
Some of.
But we didn't go into the 500 hours.
No, that came in a really meaty chapter. And of course, Mariah was the fastest runner in the school, other than that one boy. That she doesn't know. So there was just so many things that we remember. But out of all of this, what would you say is the meatiest moment from Wayward Child?
I've got it. Look, it's got to be the tea.
Yeah.
The dandelion tea. And even though it's not just the tea, it's it has been a whole chapter of Alison doing horrific things like trying to pimp her out to that pedo,
drugs,
trying to get her to take cocaine or whatever else that was, and
it was Valium as well, I think.
Yeah, and I think she did slip her Valium, didn't she?
Yeah, and the late night suicidal phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I wrote dandelion tea.
Yeah, but the tea throwing on a little girl was just a moment of, this is like you've reached your limit with how much you can put up with.
Yeah. And I think the really visceral sort of I couldn't even have someone touch my back. Yeah. Like those little details that, we went in pretty detailed anyway, but just it's easy to forget how much was going on. No, I agree. Dandelion tea all the way. What about our little section? I still don't know her. Who is the ultimate I don't know her from Wayward Child?
Well, there's Alison and the mother. Mm-hmm. But I honestly think Addie the Parmesan Nazi does not come off well.
I mean, with a name like Addie the Parmesan Nazi, how could you?
I mean, she ruined the elegant fresh linguine.
I mean, what was she even thinking? Look, I went with Alison.
Morgan, who had a fight and the police were called. There was a lot. Remember, didn't he abandon her? When he was babysitting her, didn't he leave her alone? And then the police had to come.
Yeah, I think so.
And she realised she was the miracle.
Yes, the cop was like, if she makes it, it'll be a miracle.
Yes.
She's now got him framed in her dining hall. Oh, so she went back and found him. Was like, I'm keeping you.
Yeah.
But no, I went with Alison because I think it's sort of she's got the most damning evidence against her. It's the most definitive.
Yeah.
We don't know that this is happening.
I mean, the whole family unit was terrible.
Yeah.
And that very much came through.
There's chances for other people to make it into the Hall of Fame, don't worry. Now we have the MVN MP, which is the most valuable non-Mariah person in Wayward Child. Because obviously it would be Mariah just for MVP. Yeah. But it's the most valuable non-Mariah person, the MVN MP.
Well, this has got to be a toss-up for me between Gunkles teaching her, to love Christmas as much as she does, and Farrah Fawcett with the hair flicks.
Yeah. I have Farrah Fawcett here.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of maybe Dana Del Reese, because she's probably the one family member who doesn't do anything horrific to Mariah.
Yes.
But I did feel that Farrah Fawcett here was probably the first person to show Mariah kindness for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
Just quietly went and brushed her hair. And I just thought that was such a simple but kind thing to someone who's never been shown that.
Yeah.
And it's quite intimate in a way, in
Speaking
a special
of intimate,
brother-sister kind of way.
Was he a very good friend of Morgan's, do we think?
We have suggested that his family. I don't want to get sued, so I'm not gonna throw Morgan into this. But Farrah Fawcett hair seems pretty fabulous. Hair and hot dogs.
Hair and hot dogs. That's amazing.
Does it get any gayer? But I just thought it was a really sweet thing, especially being done in silence. It wasn't like he singled her out and was like, "Here's all the things that are wrong with you."
Yeah.
It was like, I can do this little thing. Yeah, let's give you a nice day.
Yeah.
And obviously, the picture made the back of the book, so it very much pertains to the meaning of Mariah Carey.
It pertains to the jacket of the meaning of the...
Yeah. Exactly. And it made us forget that she nearly died on the same day.
Yeah. Dramatic day.
All right. That is Wayward Child. Are you ready to plow into Sing Sing?
Oh, do you want to recap?
I would like.
Do you want my sing gist? Oh my God.
Sing gist me.
Sing. Mariah starts recording music. She gets ripped off by a photocopy contract. She meets Tommy Mottola and they build 2 houses and she's constantly terrified of him. She discovers the Lamely and they bring her life. They're her true family. And she writes a song for Gloria Estefan while on the shitter that becomes Hero. She gets married in puff sleeves on her honeymoon. Her publicist yells at her. She tries doing therapy with Tommy, who is controlling. So she has to sneak off with Debrat and get chips. Mariah gets acting, singing, and walking in heels lessons. Some from a woman with voluminous breasts and some with Debbie Allen from Fame.
Oh, yeah.
And then she snuck off through the Get Smart corridors into a new life.
I can't do it.
Oh my God, you've still got it.
Still got it.
Tommy threatens her with a knife in front of people who she doesn't know anymore. And Mariah
I forgot about that person.
Gets fingered in the rain on the roof by Derek Jeter. Which becomes part of Butterfly, which she's been recording. Then she goes over Tommy's head to the big boss of Sony and quickly pushes out Rainbow, some best ofs, and sings with Whitney.
Oh, yes, Whitney.
Yeah.
I mean, you touched on some stuff because I didn't get through this whole section. Because it's a big section again.
There's heaps in Sing Sing.
With Glitter, that was big but condensed.
Yes.
And Emancipation was a little freer.
Yeah.
Whereas these first two were like bam, 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 bam. Plus a few didn't quite have a home chapters. Get them in there. So we're going to break it on down. Memories and Rants edition.
Memories and Rants edition.
We have a little pre-Pinkette Will Smith.
Yes.
It's just showing up at a little Brenda K. Star moment.
I toyed with putting one in the Pinkett, two in the Smith. But I thought
you didn't want to get slapped.
They are persona non grata for me now.
Oh, we don't know them.
We don't know them anymore.
Either of them?
Well, I feel sorry for Jada Pinkett, which is not a place I want it to be.
This is what you've been reduced to.
You know, when I saw her in a film where she was good, and I'm it's hurting me.
Worst.
No, she was good in that Matrix, that new one.
We also had the all-black uniform. Mariah had her singing uniform.
Oh, she did.
But the white flappy shoes that Morgan... He's like, couldn't he gotten black shoes? They go with everything.
I know. No more... holes in her shoes. It was...
Right, and then she, of course,
remember the ice in her flap? She had ice in her flap.
I hate when that happens.
Forgot about
Nothing
and the
worse than an
bagels.
icy flat.
There was so much I had to leave
bagels.
out. Like I wanted to leave in the million bagels that she made.
Yes, the bagels and all the Subway chicken.
Subway
Like which
chicken.
one today?
Yeah. And now she can afford both.
Both, and probably a million times over.
Yeah, in the pool.
Yeah,
Having bagels and Subway tokens in the pool.
yeah. She's got 2 separate pools for those things.
Yeah.
I would actually love a bagel pool. Just
Bagel
saying.
pool. There's a place down the
That would
road
be
from here
fun.
that does amazing bagels, but I've never had one because you have to get there early because they go.
Oh, that's rude. I just get them from Coles. But I will say, I was watching the OC and they seem to eat them fresh. And I'm like, oh no, I never get them early enough to be fresh.
No.
Like they need to be toasted, darling. Toasted.
Yeah, the fresh is good.
I should try fresh. You touched on the Ben Margulies photocopy, and I still can't believe that worked. Like, I'm just going to walk around with photocopy contracts and make everyone sign it, and hopefully one of them
Well,
becomes
it
a
was
singer.
from some dodgy book, wasn't it?
I know.
I'm sure
and it's like, how did
People
Tommy,
are wise to it now. Mariah's
right?
told them.
But how did someone of Tommy's power at the time? How could he not get her out of it? Like,
Because
It must
record
have been
companies
so-
don't really care about who gets the money after
Yeah.
they get it. Like, it's like, oh, if everyone's skimming off the top, who cares? Like, we're making money.
there was also, like, early on,
Hmm.
the feeling from Mariah that even though Tommy was horrific, he was protecting her from her family.
Yes.
Like, I forgot about that little detail, and it reminded me of why she went
There.
in that direction of, like, this is protection.
Yeah. Because
sort
my
of a
mum's
thing.
not protecting me. My dad's not protecting me. Like,
Yeah.
this
But
terrifying
unfortunately-
guy who seems to be connected to the mob will
Yeah.
protect
And there
me.
was intercoms in every room.
That still disturbs
What you doing?
me. I know.
What you doing? I'm getting some fucking cake and practicing my lines.
Yeah.
I don't want to see
I'm
that.
going to go into the spa, which is the size of the ocean,
Yeah.
and right close my eyes.
Yeah. And unfortunately, he was also protecting her from her own fans
I
because she was
know.
always only at award shows
burnt
and around
book.
professionals.
Remember
Yes.
the burnt book?
Joey Lawrence. Remember him from Blossom?
Yes.
He wrote something nice. They could have had a beautiful family together. Oh, I am still very into his brother, Matthew. Oh. I mean, look on his Instagram if you don't know.
Was he in anything? Or
He was in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I mean, you should see him now. It's all cheekbone.
Oh, is he? What were they? Was that his brother? The one from Mrs.
Yeah,
Doubtfire?
there was a
Wow.
few.
Oh, well, there are a few Lawrences.
They were the main two, I think. But
Right.
and like the brother like works with like zoo animals. It's adorable.
Oh, cute.
We had so of course we had Schenectady and Hero and
The Schenectady moment was my favourite.
And even going back and looking at the, how the barricades were there and the police and stuff, and Mariah didn't click. Now, knowing what we know now about the cops in Mariah's
Yeah.
life, it really highlights how she was actually probably quite scared when she saw all of that, not knowing what it was for.
Yeah.
You mentioned the publicist yelling. What was that? I don't remember that.
You don't. Oh, remember when she got in trouble for? It was like the publicist was talking to Tommy about something, and she's like, "It's my honeymoon. When are we? Can't we do some stuff?" And he like screamed at her. I was like, "You don't understand." Blah, blah, blah.
I forgot
And
about
so
that.
she took herself off down to some bar just in her bikini, and had daiquiris on credit.
Yes, I remember that. I think that's when we got the 500 hours too, somewhere in the wedding chapter. We also had her being followed by security when she was looking for a house for Patricia. Forgot about that. Like you said, the sad honeymoon on the beach, the secret get smart hallways, which are a favourite of ours.
amazing.
The knife incident, another traumatic moment that I'm like, oh yeah.
And you know
And
that
Snuffleupagus.
Snuffleupagus. We missed that beautiful moment where, like, I got quite emotional when she bought the house for her mum and said, "Oh, this is so and so's house," and she's like, "Actually, it's yours."
Yes.
Oh, little were we to know that what was going to happen at that house many years later.
That's when Patricia got her head cut off and stuck on the wall. Yeah. That's one of my favourite moments. It's the flappy fish. We also discussed the haunting of Mariah Carey when they did go in for divorce.
Yes.
And we somehow came up with a new show, which is a mansion haunted by Mariah, which I want to see. We had the roof. We had the Derek Jeter. Yeah. The special microphone. Singing my all into his mouth. Oh my god. It reminds me of what we were talking about off air. It still gets me. Oh no. Oh. Why does it always do it? I don't understand. We had, probably the most important thing in this book, an Alyssa Milano poster.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Pertaining to the meaning of Mariah Carey. Thank you very much. And of course
Derek Jeter, he was either going to get his hand up the jumper of Alyssa Milano or Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad choices.
Yeah.
The flying to the Dominican Republic for a divorce moment was a moment.
That was a moment.
And of course,
because she needed the vitamin D.
She did.
And she couldn't get vitamin D while she was still married because she had a vow.
And I had a breakdown because it was a little too crass. I was like, Mariah.
No, she meant the sun.
Yes.
The sunshine. You get vitamin D from the sun.
And of course, it could have been perfect. The mother loved me. The sister loved me.
I know.
The D loved me.
The D. I give my...
Oh my god. I'm surprised you even know what choking's like anymore.
It's a sense memory. Also from all those years that I used to pretend to do it in my stand-up act.
Why am I not surprised?
Because, I used to open with this bit. It was saying, like, talking about working on radio, and my boss said, you know, when I did my first report, he's like, can you sound gayer? And I was like, I probably can.
I do remember that.
And they're like, yeah, maybe the way.
Maybe less of that. Oh my! How could you sound any gayer? Like, that's just rude.
It was rude. Seriously a moment of like, what? Are you from Syria?
And of course, at the very end of this chapter, Mariah signs a new record-breaking deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the end of the section, not the chapter, but the final chapter.
Yes.
She's just
after she has a chat to old mate boss of Sony.
Yeah, I'm going above your head, Tommy. Yes. Is what I'm doing. I'm going to get myself out of this in a bunch of compilation albums in the process. All right. So for Sing Sing, what would you say is the meatiest moment?
Oh, there are so many meaty moments. Mm-hmm. Like it's like there's a lot. Mm-hmm. There's the knife, which I found horrific and terrifying. Yeah. There was the wedding, which kind of she sort of gave short shrift to, really. Like she sort of just went, and there was a wedding, people were there.
Yeah, there had puffy sleeves.
There was an audience, guest list.
There was Barbara Streisand. That's all you need to
know. You know what I think is weirdly the meatiest part for me is finding out that she pushed out Hero with a number 2.
For Gloria Esther
Carey, expecting it to be sung in a very flat monotone for some terrible movie. And then it turned into her anthem essentially for much of the 90s.
Didn't we make it also that Morris helped write that with the cat singing? Yum, 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 yum. It's all coming back. So for my meatiest moment for this, I think it's the entire side effects chapter because we got couples therapy with the sweetie. It's not normal. Mariah had hives, which we should Mariah doesn't get hives. No. We had ginormous breasts, Debbie Allen dancing.
Breasts. Oh, and learning to walk in heels. Like that was...
yes. And of course, the secret Get Smart hallway to hidden apartments. We didn't even need to know that, but I'm so glad that we do.
I know, it was amazing. I love that she had a secret apartment at her acting lessons.
Yes.
Hilarious.
It's like I've hung out with the buzzies. And time for bed.
And the patchouli and nug jumper.
Yes. And she had one of those, what are they, little couch bed things?
Oh, like
a
futon-y kind of thing.
Yeah, she had a futon. Mariah had a futon. I can't even.
It's not a real thing. It didn't happen.
And I still don't know her. Who do we really not know from this section?
Oh, we don't know Tommy.
I think it's Tommy.
It's very Tommy. Yeah. There's a lot of not knowing Tommy here.
It seems that she doesn't know Snuffleupagus so much that she doesn't say his name.
I know, he doesn't even get a mention. But
I think he does earlier on, but not towards the end when it was the knife incident.
That must have been him, mustn't it?
I can't imagine who else it would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people around these people, but
yeah.
She did mention, I think, that it was someone that she knew, and now doesn't.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't have this in the first section because we didn't have Mariah-isms, but I've gone through and found the winning Mariah-isms from this section, and I'm going to read them out to you, and you can just pick your favourite. Like, what is your ultimate Mariah-ism for this section? Are you ready? Mariah-isms. So this one this is in reference to Madonna. I could, but with my voice alone. If you remember. We had a forest full of shade.
Forest full of shade. Great.
I'll be eternally grateful, which was in reference to Ben, citing a lyric in a song that they wrote together. WTG, it sounded like a tire business. $1 million buys a lot of bagels. Side note with a side eye.
Side note with a side eye.
Even a capable mother or sister couldn't manage the production we were going to put on.
Oh, my God.
There's so many. Even though I towered over him when in heels, which is, I think, about Tommy. We got it done. A remix, a video, and a prison break all in one day. I knew I was too black to do interpretive dance. I'm not being shady, but he had on pointy shoes. I was kind of scary. What does that mean? Fuck him. Bobby Brown was around, and I don't even know what else was going on, but that wasn't my business. And I've been told it was billions.
I've been told it was billions. The franchise.
I mean, I just threw a lot at you. I didn't realize how many there were, but of those ones, what is the one that stands out to you?
I've been told it was billions is still a favourite. There was one in there. What was it?
There was bagels. There was side eye.
It was, buys a lot of bagels.
Buys a lot of bagels.
Oh, but side eye with side. Oh.
I know. I feel like I've highlighted side note with a side eye because it's so fabulous for life.
Side note with side eye. Yeah.
And the most ridiculous one is, I'm not being shady, but he had on pointy shoes. That's probably my favorite, most ridiculous one.
I do still love, I've been told it was billions.
Billions. All right, time for an MVNMP, most valuable non-Mariah person. Mm-hmm. Who would you say is your most valuable non-Mariah person from this section?
It has to be Debbie Allen. You're going to work in sweat.
I'm going to show you all the moves you need to get through that honey video.
It's got to be Debbie Allen. Just because she was the most unexpected person to turn up in that chapter. Like, what?
That is true.
I was sitting around. Where did Debbie Allen come from? Isn't she the mother in Grey's Anatomy now?
Sure. Let's say that. I've never watched it.
She's someone's mother in Grey's Anatomy.
The only episode I've watched is the one with Elizabeth Milano and Holly Marie Combs.
Oh, okay.
I toyed with Debrat because they did have a little fun escape.
They did have their escape.
But I think it has to be the therapist who helped her get out. Like, I think...
Honey, it's not normal.
In my head, she's played by Barbara. Which I would love. But I thinking about it, I was like, there was a lot of people working against her in this section. Yes. Like, a lot. And this was the first person that made any sense and saw what was going on. And could actually help.
Yeah.
So I've gone with the therapist. But I mean, ginormous breasts gets a...
Oh, she deserves an honourable mention. But I'm all over Debbie Allen. Just because I was just like, of course it's Debbie Allen. Like when Debbie Allen got the Lifetime Achievement at the Emmys.
Did she?
I nearly lost my mind.
Oh my God.
And she taught Mariah how to walk in heels.
She did. And how to move without moving.
Yes, Debbie Allen.
Oh my God. With all that glitters, would you like to smack me in the face with a recap?
Oh, I'll gist you up. Mariah makes the movie Glitter, and the soundtrack is Sabotage by Tommy and another female entertainer.
Oh, I wonder who that is. I don't think we know.
She can't bring herself to call someone that regular a singer.
No. I do love that there is an interview where she says, "Oh, she came to singing later." I was like, "Oh, you admit that she sang."
Mariah tries to bring Carson Daly an ice cream in a festive moment that went awry because no one would let her sleep. She tries to sleep in her mother's calamitous dog hair infected house. And after breaking some crockery, the cops are called and she's taken away.
I forgot about the crockery.
Yeah, she normally has the paper plates.
Yes.
She goes to a couple of spas that are not spas and gets locked up in one and is only released because of terrorism.
Right?
Which is also the reason she can't go to her house in New York.
Yes.
Then she gets a congressional award while her mum's locked in the dunny screaming, "Morgan is my favourite." And Mariah sings Hero for the first responders and goes to church.
She does. She loves her some church.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've done well. Like, I feel like you've touched on pretty much everything. So let's break it down. Break me on down. I mean, as you said, we start with the sabotage, and we went to court with the case of
we did.
Loverboy v. I'm Real. I forgot about that.
We went to court.
Judge Posh.
I see that in my notes. I was like, oh my God, that's right. The court
We're
case.
insane. Like, recapping this was both the book, but also our podcast. I was like, oh my God.
What were we thinking that week? Or any of these weeks?
And I probably changed my mind on everything 3 days later. So I'd probably go back and listen. I was like, what was I doing? And of course, Loverboy only went to number 2 and everyone freaked out.
Oh, I know.
It's like her career is over.
Which is why she wasn't allowed to sleep.
No, you can't.
Because of the number 2.
You went to number 2. Like, how dare you have the second?
All Carson Daly now.
Yeah. The visit to TRL was hectic, and I'm so glad we got it in the book. I was like, we need this moment.
But I love that, like, that is how she's behaved in every single media appearance since. And nobody is better than Island. It's just like, oh, this was the real Mariah revealing herself.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, oh, no, that's Mariah.
Yeah, we got Tommy's version before.
Before we had Tommy controlled Mariah, who wasn't allowed to be fun. And then you get, Mariah that we all know and love, who is exactly that TRL Mariah.
Yeah. Imagine the hot tub moment. If that happened in 2001, everyone would have lost their minds.
Imagine Mariah in a gown in a swimming pool. During Glitter, it would have been, oh, she's lost her mind. She's lost her mind.
We also had, like you said, Mariah stopped sleeping, and there was a Morgan to the rescue moment at the hotel, and there was the the little thing of like, I'm going to help you, and we're going to make it better. Just joking.
And then when she got out of the spa, and her mum had the paparazzi waiting for her.
Yeah. It's just like Marilyn, Patricia says. And she was working for the corporate morgue. Running errands.
Oh, I forgot the corporate morgue.
She was running errands, if you remember. There was...
That's right. They turned up at her bloody house to go, come on. She went to a hotel to sleep.
Yeah. And they all turned up like, knock, knock. Mariah said, get fucked. And how could we forget surprise murder plots for old Tuggy?
Oh, I know. Again, that was one of those things that I had in there that I was like, oh no, I'll leave that one for Phil. Phil loved Tuggy.
We love old Tuggy.
Remember Patricia's list of really weird men? Wasn't there a guy that smelled like chicken?
I think sure. Even if there wasn't, let's say there was.
and there was Tuggy, like Tuggy the tugboat.
And he didn't have a yacht. It was a tugboat.
It was a tugboat.
as you said, but yeah, like
Morgan was going to kill him for $5,000.
I know I can make this go away, maybe. Shh.
Is that why he's in court?
I thought we were here to celebrate, said Mariah.
I didn't know we were going to knock off Dougie.
We had Mariah breaking the plates, as you said, going back to Patricia's. She's crawling up the stairs, but tidying up the dog hair on the way.
Yeah.
Her standards weren't asleep. And yeah, Mariah finally gets some sleep, but Patricia is like, no, bitch. So Mariah screams, I did the best that I could. Over and over and over.
I did the best that I could. It was so good.
We have a cop.
I did the best that I could.
Right? Piggy Patricia is revealed. Not just in the present, but in the past with the whole Christmas in Aspen Tushy side up moment.
Yeah.
Calling the cops on Morgan. I remember this being an interesting thing because I think Tots was there and she, again, being a person of colour was a little like, I don't know what to do here. Morgan was hiding in the den, I think. Yeah. It was a weird time for the Morgan relationship. Trying to kind of figure that out. And of course, Not Without My Shoes, starring Daphne Zuniga.
Daphne Zuniga.
Do you remember? Mariah is like, I'll go with you, but I'm going to get
of the
my shoes. Yeah. And we came up with like a Lifetime movie version of this moment that would have starred Daphne Zuniga. You mentioned the many, many spas that weren't actually spas. And we had the mop. How could you forget the mop?
Oh my God, the mop that was whispering to her.
And she put it on her head and did a show.
Yeah.
Somehow we made quite a horrific moment.
My name is Tallulah.
We managed to make a pretty horrific moment hilarious.
I know. That's our special skill.
Maybe that's after this. After we're going to take the podcast into a cabaret, and that's.
Oh my God, we should take this show on the road. We reenact our favourite moments.
Oh
and now, God. Daphne Zuniga in
Not Without My Shoes. I'm not going without my shoes. That's the whole movie.
And I am telling you, I'm not going. Not without my slippers.
No, and then it's just like a long pause for 45 minutes and then the end credits. We have the congressional awards and the Morgan of it all and the embarrassment.
Drunk Patricia.
Oh my God, I forgot about not only that, but how big a moment it was.
Yes.
And like, Morgan's my favorite.
Morgan's my he's the only one who loves his mummy. Morgan loves the mummy. Come to mummy.
There was some breastises touching as well in that moment. And I mean, even the fact that, like, as you said, Mariah couldn't get back to her New York apartment with 9/11, and that's where she
released but trapped.
Yes,
at the same time.
And she was in a spa when all of that happened. Alleged spa, and that is what led Mariah to re-find Jesus. I think she had a moment where she wasn't sure, but she's like, "Don't worry, I found him again." And Patricia didn't like that.
Patricia didn't like that. That was weird.
That was weird. It's like, no, I'm trying to brainwash you. I can't have other people brainwashing you.
Yes.
It's double brainwashing. It's a deep heat of
everything I
brainwashing.
say.
Yeah. So
you're not half the singer I could be.
Meatiest moment from All That Glitters.
I have to say, the fucking mum calling the cops on her.
Yeah.
Like, it's wrong. It's too much. And it's like, all she did was yell, I did the best that I could.
Which is funnily my meatiest moment is that I did the best that I could. Because not only is it Mariah fighting back and just having, I am at the absolute end of my tether.
Yeah.
But it's also just the best impersonation. Like,
I know.
I was like, it came back. Yes.
I know. Because remember she was doing it when she was a kid in the car? We're taking the scenic route.
And she held her stare. They didn't get it. Now, I still don't know her. Who don't we know?
Oh, we don't know Patricia.
We do not know Patricia. That's who I wrote as well.
Dog hair riddled house that Mariah bought and paid for and built and then sold.
Yeah, recently. Shoved her in a home. Oh, no. Are you still alive?
Oh, sorry. Were you living there? Oh, oopsie.
I wouldn't call this living. Mariah-isms. Now, thankfully, this was a shorter section, so the ultimate Mariah-isms are a little shorter. So I'm going to throw them at you. We were both like cornered animals in couture. Patricia had absolutely no idea the burden and responsibility of being an artist who generated so much money and energy.
I know.
I was barely conscious, but my standards were still awake.
I was at the cleaning the dog.
Yeah. Diamonds aren't my best friend, but we're close. And of course, I'm real.
Oh. You know there's only one choice.
I think there's only one choice.
It's in italics.
Yeah. I'm real.
I'm real.
What I loved about it so much was that was 2 chapters after the firecracker incident. Like, it's like, I'm going to end the whole section with this. Could have done it then, but no.
I could have done it then.
I'm going to wrap it up.
I'll just finish here with my 19 number ones.
Yeah.
Being real.
Now we've got the MVNMP, most valuable non-Mariah person.
MVNMVP.
Who is your NVNMP?
Who's your one?
I've gone with Tots because I felt like in that moment she was probably the one person that she felt safe with and
who was making sense.
Yeah. I threw in a little Christopher Buckle who reapplied her mask after. But I thought, that was more of an after thing. But Tots was there and saw it all and...
Yeah, I think Tots would have to be there. I mean, I'm tempted to say Carson Daly.
It was the glitter ice cream trolley.
Yeah.
It was
Billy.
Was being turned all the way up.
Terrence Howard. Remember she had the thing with Terrence Howard knowing that he was a big deal before he was a big deal.
And that he was super into Max Beasley in that movie.
Yeah.
I feel like we need... Because is it Brad? Do you reckon he's watched Glitter yet?
I don't know.
We need to find out. We need to get him to record him watching it for us. But I honestly feel like we need... Like, pretty soon I'm going to need to watch Glitter with our commentary again. And just laugh at all the dumb shit we came up with.
It's a cat. Is that the same
looking
cat?
At the boom mic. Oh, they're going to kiss.
Looking at the boom mic is the best.
At the end of the podcast. Podcast, baby. Almost there. Almost home, you could probably say. But you won't because of copyright.
All right, we nearly made it through the book, but we're not quite there. We've got one more section to go. So join us next Mariah Monday and you can find out what our favourite Mariah-isms were. You'll find out who our MP.
There's another one as well.
Oh my God, there
is another one. There's more.
All right, so much more to come in the next episode of Me. I Am a Memoir, the meaning of Mariah Carey. Don't forget you can get us on all the internets at Me. I Am a Memoir. Just fling us messages. We love them. Bye, Lamely.
Bye.